Are you ready for this? Are you ready? Happy Tuesday. Oh, let's squeeze out the van. The 4th of September. It's been a few days since I've been down here. No urgency to come down. And I like having a nosy, can you see here? Do you remember that polytunnel frame that's been there? Neglected for so long. It's been covered in netting for this year. Barbara, you've done a fantastic job. Hopefully we're going to have some ripening tomatoes, but I don't know if you can tell. Can you see? It's jumper weather. You can see I need a little pot for these tiny little Tim's Taste of Paradise. It's already got the Barry's Crazy Cherry in. So we're going to have a pot full in no time. I've just cleared some tomatoes out of here. It was a Plant World mystery, if I just show you. Almost like a very pale pear. But unfortunately, it had succumbed to blight. Definitely blight. This is quite a dense area, which isn't great, to be honest. Not fantastic airflow. Once these got going, they sort of got neglected. So rather than putting them in a lot shorter bed, next year I will give up another lengthy bed down on plot 1 for another row of tomatoes. So let me crack on and get these crazy cherries picked. Right, I've just given it a little bit of a clear so I can see what I'm working with. Down here we have what I believe it is a Rose Crush. Fantastic looking tomato. Yes, absolutely, definitely, that's a Rose Crush. Another one to add to the basket. So these are the Rebel Starfighter. Great size. That's one of my Rose Crushers. I've got another one down here that's slightly more ripe. So they need to go in the basket. I've got my black Tula. I'm not going to save this one, it's all gone mouldy. That can go in the compost. And the rest of the black Tula, although they look okay, green, they may have blight within them. And there's my little pot of Barry's Crazy Cherry. So I'll add them to my basket. I will get rid of all this. And please remind me next season not to take any seedlings out of any compost that I've made. I've got enough surprises this year with all the tomato varieties. So much green for the bin. Do that now. Let me just show you what I've done today. It looks drastic, but hopefully a warm weekend next weekend will just help ripen these final few tomatoes along these 2 beds. I've just spotted that. Can you see? Brown with the yellow around it, which I think is blight. So I've taken off any leaves that looked infected. The rest of the plants are doing fantastic. Plenty of tomatoes left on here, and whether they ripen up or not, we'll see. We've managed to almost fill a compost bay. As you can see, that's active, which I've maintained filling, so we've got lovely compost for next time. And that's how plot 1 is looking. These beetroots are coming up sometime this week to be pickled. I've just seen another tomato here. These are the choc cherry ones, and the very late planting out. Plenty of tomatoes, so let's keep our fingers crossed we get some more that ripen. A few raspberries too. She said don't pick any more. Do I go and get a tray and just pick some? Oh, there's loads. Not today. Get yourself home. Enough for a taste. Could be here all day. Right. A few raspberries, green courgettes. No surprises. Oh, no surprises. Speak too soon. There's a nice marrow there that can go in a curry. I had to eat all those raspberries. I didn't have a spare hand. So I've got the marrow. Oh, those raspberries were delicious. Here's a sugar pie. I was telling Audrey the other day we have two. Completely oranged up. I'll just wait for this to go brown before harvesting those to try and make some pumpkin puree and some pumpkin puree scones. Same story, one on the plant. Right, and you see the melon. This is the last tendril, that's all dried up. The plant's drying up, so I am going to harvest this today. Not the most delicate way of getting that off, but it's off. I can't smell watermelon, but there's only one way to find out, and that's to take it home and cut it open. So I think that's going to be it for today. Short visit, just mainly to tidy up the tomatoes, check for blight, tidy those up, and take the harvest home and get preserving, I think, which we've been doing plenty of. Trisha's at home now doing the tomatoes. I prepped and froze a load of sweet peppers the other day. What else have we had to do? Just get cooking and eating. I'm not even sure I can lift this basket up to show you, but I'll try. Oh, there we go. So we have a few peppers, a few cucumbers, a whole load of tomatoes. Right, I think that is me done. I am going to just have a quick walk around the plot, see if there's anything else to harvest down on plot 1, and then I'm off home. So flying visit, and thanks for watching. Take care. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Every little helps, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Right, I'm home. So let's cut this watermelon in half and see. Oh my goodness, are you ready for this? Are you ready? Wow, look at that. Oh my goodness, I grew a watermelon. Not sugar pie, it's the baby watermelon. I can't remember the exact name of it. Unfortunately, we only got one, but one is better than none. Oh, good morning. Happy Thursday, I think the 4th. I'll correct that if that's wrong. Right, first job I just completed. Not the most exciting job in the world, but one that needs doing. Been down to the 2 tomato beds on plot 1 and removed all the redundant string and supports, and that's a lesson learned for next year. Use a better quality string if you're stringing up your tomatoes, but we did spend quite a bit of money on what we initially put in, only to find 1-2 weeks later they rotted off because I tied the knot and put it under the root ball of the tomatoes. Well, that didn't work this year, so I got some paracord and I will use that next year because that's been great. So one lesson learned this year. What's another lesson I've learned? Labelling. That must be everybody's resolution every year, because no matter what you try, there's always things that get mislabeled, or the birds have been pecking the labels out, and then you end up with a mystery. And I've just been talking to a plot neighbour down on plot 1 who asked for some black tomatoes. Everybody's seen those on my plot, and I've absolutely told them to help themselves to a tomato to save the seed, or two, so they can try one first and then save the seed from the second one. But one of the ones I gave her was black. It's the one she actually noticed, and it should have been that is it GC Galapagos cerise. I'll put it down below, the label I'll put here. But now I've googled it, that should have been a yellow cherry, and it definitely wasn't. It looked more like a Rebel Starfighter Prime, but as a beefsteak, slightly odd shaped. Again, if I can put a picture here, I'll show you the one I mean. So if anybody knows what this one is, please do let me know, because I have no idea, but it's delicious and I have saved some seed. And that all happens because of the labelling situation, so to keep on top of that. Also, Ali in Canada, my Rusty Garden, we both bought one of the labelling machines, supposed to be fade resistant. Maybe fade resistance indoors, but not outside in the elements, and not in the greenhouse, maybe where there's like a condensation build up and you're literally left with a white label, and if you tilt it slightly to catch the sun on it, you may be lucky and be able to read what you've got on the label. So marker pen, I think, is the way to go on that. What did I say about using these? I have used a few, but I need to do that more with the permanent marker pen on those next year, because I have loads of those left over. Right, it's very overcast and windy. My next job is probably to tidy up some apples that have dropped off the apple tree. That just seems a regular job at the minute, but I just want to get them picked up and put them on the compost, so let's go and do that. Another one of those jobs that you have to keep on top of this time of year is rounding up all the rotten apples that have fallen off the tree. Just keeps the place looking tidy, adds to the compost, and I will say I haven't seen so many wasps this year. Again, we tend to pick the fruit up because of the wasp situation, but there just doesn't seem to have been many this year. But they're everywhere, hiding. Right, I'm gonna head down the path there, pick some more up and get them on the compost pile. Doesn't do any harm to pick up some rogue stinging nettles while I'm here. All great for the compost. Don't neglect your compost heaps. Right, so this is the compost heap we're working on at the minute. I have my thermometer in there, almost 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, it is 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So plenty of greens going on this time of year. Let's just tip that in. I'm going to go and harvest some comfrey, borage, nettles, anything I can get my hands on. I did put a lot of the tomato clippings in here yesterday, so plenty of greens, and I've got some shredded paper ready to go on top. And as you can see here, this is the comfrey I planted when I first took the plot on, not knowing about the variety Box something or other that isn't invasive at the time. I planted these and they do really well. You just harvest it all, eat some of it, not really. Get it in my basket, get it on the compost and get it working for me for the soil for next year. I go hard, I really do, I pull it all right back. This is the second lot we've had up here. You can make comfrey tea. I stick with my seaweed fertiliser. This literally goes straight in the compost to rot down and provide the nutrients for the compost for next year. Oh, look, go real hard, pull it out. Can't kill it off, I don't think. Let's see if we can get that compost full by the end of today's visit. Right, that's all the comfrey from that area. As you can see here now, this area is completely clear. A few weeds with their seed pods there that I'm not going to put in the compost just yet. I soak them in water, some of the seed heads, but just to tidy up. I've got some wood chip at home that's coming down here, just to tidy up plot 1. And believe me, this will grow back. So that's another clearing up job done. Right, another job for tidying up is finally the lettuce bed. I was telling Audrey the other day my lettuces are fabulous, they haven't bolted, and they must have heard me, because look at these, but how pretty do they look. Again, look at those. Further compost. A few more down here, and that's another basket load for the compost. Right, so with all them greens in there, lovely windy day for it. But I'm going to get this paper on here and then going up to plot 1, get some more comfrey from up there and some apples, nettles, just to get this covered, to stop the paper blowing away. Great resource from where I work, and to save it going in landfill, because believe it or not, shredded paper doesn't go in recycling. Shall I get up there and give it a stamp? Right, let's get that bit, press it down a bit. I think the rain's coming. Give it a bit of moisture, and then either tomorrow or the following day I'll come down and get that covered. But great job. Get the rubbish in the bin, go and get some nettles and comfrey just to top that off. Fantastic, getting these jobs ticked off. That was a good, I would say, power hour, just tidying a good half of plot 1. I'm going to harvest some more comfrey and nettles and apples, I think, from Paula's plot next door there, just to help her tidy those up at the same time and put them to work for me for the compost for next year. Right, I'm back. I have done quite a lot, so let me go and show you what I have actually done. Right, I got distracted as always and started pulling up other things for the compost. I don't know if you remember this bed here, had all them, I can't remember now if they're chrysanthemums, daisies, they were something, all along this bed here. so starting to look messy, so they are now out. And I did a little bit of weeding here and pulled out some straw flowers that I'm going to take home, salvage what we can to do some dried flower arrangements. As you saw yesterday, we harvested our one and only sugar baby watermelon. It was fantastic. I might harvest that today. Put these in here. There we go. Cleans up the apples, much tidier around here and down the path. Tomato plants. I might just try and take a few little cherry ones I've seen that are ripening over here to put in the basket. But this has been the main job of today. So I've stuck the thermometer back in. It's just hitting the green. I think after a bit of rainfall, some more comfrey. The rest of those, I'm sure they're chrysanthemums. That will soon heat up and we'll have another bay full. All right, I forgot I'd left you here. Sorry about that. Again, just filling the compost up. Found my horry knife. Don't want to be losing that. And just general tidying up around the sheds. Just feels like one of those days. So I've just got another run down to that compost heap and then I'll be back for a drink. Squeaky squeak. I think Trisha's put a bit of board down here and a bit of fake grass, but it's squeaking as we walk in. I'm going to have a quick drink and I think I'm going to do a potato reveal, maybe 2 buckets just to get them out the way again. We don't need them. They're the Blue Danube, which are part of the Sarpomira range, but I'm trying to get everything out of buckets apart from the sweet potatoes. In fact, I might do that first before I even have a drink. So let's go and see what potatoes we can get. Well, we've actually got 2 buckets and I'm going to do both. Right, let's just pull them out to start with. Wow, looking like there's some good potatoes in there. I think I must have planted a mixture because these look a lot paler than the Blue Danube. So they could be one of the other Sarpomira that I grew this year. And these are looking quite a lot like the single seed potato challenge potatoes. See the bit of a red. So I'll put them in this basket. A few weed seeds in there. A few more potatoes there. All right. See, these are the purple ones. So 1 bucket. Let's get them all off. There's a little larger Blue Danube. That's a bit better. Those 2 there are a bit more decent size. Another couple of decent sized ones there. Yeah, that's looking like it. So from 2 buckets we've got all those potatoes there. So another job ticked off the list is the pricking out of the wongbok and the pak choi. So that wasn't a planned day. That was just a day to wander around and get anything done that I could see needed doing. So that included filling up a compost bay with nettles from the pathways, from comfrey that were taking over the pathways, apples that were dropping from the trees, and I have now got that compost bay full. The thermometer's in and it's just hitting the green now, which is the steady. That will take a couple of days just to settle and increase in temperature. I have just also pricked out my wongbok and pak choi, lots of those, which are going to go in one of the tomato beds when they're emptied in what, 4 or 5 weeks if we're lucky. So general tidy up always feels good. A little bit of a weed around, small harvest, couple of potato reveals. I don't think I've ever got so much done in one day while recording, but we had a little mishap there with the microphone, so I'm not sure if certain bits of this video have actually recorded any volume, so when I go back to editing, I'll work my little bit of magic and try and put together a great video for you guys today. And I'm going to try and go back to weekly video. I think it's so much easier for me in that I don't have 2 weeks worth of footage to go through when it comes to editing a video. So a week's worth, get it edited and get it up. Right, I'm going to head off now, pick Leo up from school and put my feet up. So thanks for joining me today at the Right Pear Plot, and we'll catch you soon. Take care. Bye.